Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. We have a very big forecast for you here this morning on your Tuesday morning. Hope everybody's having a great day out there so far. We have record-breaking temperatures that continue through today into your Wednesday time frame, and then we have a break, and then more record-breaking temperatures later on this week with a new storm system. But this upcoming storm could produce some heavy snow, heavy rain, and severe weather, and we'll be giving you all the details that you need to know in today's weather forecast. So if you are new to the channel and you like detailed weather breakdowns across North America throughout 2024, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and you're into the channel. You get all of my updates here all the way through 2024. Also, make sure to press the like button down below. It helps to get all of this information passed along to more and more people. So let's go back to your Monday here on the start of the work week on the 26th of February. And it's hard to believe that late February, we're seeing all these records broken across the United States. And this is with our high temperatures on your Monday, all the way up here into the upper Midwest, the Central Plains, the Southern Plains, even over here into the Mid-Atlantic, seeing those records broken with our high temperatures on Monday. And as we go into this afternoon, another day with record-breaking high temperatures. We're into the 80s, middle 80s in St. Louis this afternoon at 85 down here in Little Rock, and into the 90s. We had an area into central Texas yesterday hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely an early start to the heat out here across the United States. And as we go into your Wednesday time frame, notice a very strong and powerful storm system with an associated cold front will be moving across the United States from west to east, ending our streak of record-breaking temperatures on Wednesday with more colder air further to the north. Now let's look at our first significant storm system, and you can see that here on the maps today. We have the ridge of high pressure out east that's creating our drier weather, but more importantly, our record-breaking warmth. But here comes our major trough. This is dipping down all the way into the Central Plains and the upper Midwest, and it will eject across the Great Lakes and into the southeastern Canadian provinces on your Wednesday time frame, and this could cause some big weather concerns. So looking here at our current weather conditions across the United States as of this morning, we have some showers. We have a few embedded thunderstorms across the lower Ohio River Valley. We could be seeing some smaller hail and some heavier rainfall, some frequent lightning with these storms. Nothing overly strong. Here comes the cold front. We have that across portions of northern Minnesota, trailing back through the central Dakotas and into portions of Colorado. That's with the snowfall out here. We have some post-frontal moisture producing some snowfall behind that cold front. So let's go through the storm system today. You can see some moisture out ahead of that in the warm sectors, some showers and some storms. We are going to talk more about our severe weather risk in just a moment, but just giving you an idea, there's the cold front back across the northern plains and the upper Midwest. Post-frontal moisture will be giving us some snowfall out here from northern Minnesota back into the Dakotas, Nebraska, and into Colorado. As we go into tonight, here comes the cold front intersecting some of this warm, moist, and unstable air. And this is going to cause concern for severe weather from the Great Lakes down into the Midwest and Ohio Valley tonight. Here comes the cold front, changing that rain over to snow. And then as we go into Wednesday, a nice snowstorm for southeastern Canada up here, eastern Ontario into Quebec. All rain, maybe lingering severe weather on Wednesday across the Mid-Atlantic and the eastern Ohio Valley. And then as we go into Thursday to close out February, we see high pressure working in across those areas, more sunshine, and we reset the atmosphere. And you look off to the west, a new storm system will be moving in out here as we go into later this week. But let's talk about our impending severe weather concerns, because there is a concern for some severe weather today across the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and the Midwest. The slight risk in the yellow is a level 2 out of 5 on the scale, and you do see that that covering the Detroit area, Grand Rapids, Chicago, up toward Milwaukee there, all the way down into Indianapolis, Cleveland, into portions of Cincinnati and Louisville and Paducah, Kentucky, and St. Louis and Springfield. A lot of areas here in concern for severe weather. And looking at the largest threat to the lowest threat here, the largest threat will be very large hail. This could be in excess of 2 inches in diameter. Anywhere you see these hatched marks from southern lower Michigan through northwest Ohio, much of Indiana, Illinois, and getting into southeastern Missouri here. And then the threat for tornadoes comes into play as well. We definitely have a 5% chance of tornadoes within a 25-mile radius of any given point in this area. So we'll definitely be concerned about that, followed by the threat for damaging winds in excess of 58 miles per hour across this region, especially in the yellow. So let's talk about the setup and why we're seeing the severe weather here this afternoon and tonight. You can see we have a warm sector out ahead of our storm system, and this is increasing our dew points. Our dew points are increasing into the 50s and even low 60s. This is late February, folks, and when you see dew points this high in late February, this raises the flag for the potential of severe weather. And notice this little area where that dew point starts to move back toward the west here across northern Illinois. That's a warm frontal boundary, or what we call a triple point, where the low pressure system, the warm front, and the cold front meet. That gives us some enhanced wind shear and energy. Look at that, up to 2,500 joules per kilogram of energy here for that storm fuel out there across north central and northeastern Illinois. And let's look at our wind profiles. You can see the surface winds in miles per hour out of the southeast here across portions of eastern and northeastern Illinois, and then in the low levels coming in more out of the south-southwest. So we have that rolling motion in the lower part of the atmosphere, which could aid in tornado genesis as we go through today. Let's look at the significant tornado parameter, and some of these values are really hitting high on the scale here, even into northeastern Illinois, up to 7s, 8s, and 9s, which is essentially a 70, 80, 90% chance of a tornado within a 25-mile point if a storm develops in that environment. So let's walk you through the timing here. This morning, very quiet across this area. This is calm before the storm. The cold front well off to the west. You can see with the snowfall over here into the upper Midwest, and then the warm sector with some rainfall and thunderstorm activity across this region here in eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, and the Western Carolinas this morning. So not that big of a deal. Going into the afternoon, notice cold front gets a little bit closer, but still waiting on those thunderstorms. I think this evening is where we're going to start to see those thunderstorms erupt from the Davenport Quad Cities area or southeastern Iowa, and they'll be traveling northeastbound into northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin here, and we're going to watch areas west of Chicago proper here for some semi-discrete supercells, and I'm more concerned on the southern side of where these supercells do develop. That's where we're going to have that triple point where the low pressure, the warm front, and the cold front come together, those backing of the winds, and that's where you'll likely see those tornado warnings if these storms grow strong enough and break through that cap this afternoon and evening. And then those storms will race off to the north and east and weaken. A new line of severe storms may develop here across the lower Ohio River Valley after midnight into early Wednesday morning. But look at the snowfall here. Areas that saw severe weather potentially during the evening on Tuesday are already changing over to snow early Wednesday morning, just a few hours later. So Mother Nature is reminding us that, hey, it's still late February, winter is still here. And looking at the severe weather risk for Wednesday, it's mainly across southeastern Ohio, West Virginia, into places like Charleston, and then getting into portions of eastern Kentucky into the Jackson region and perhaps Lexington, Kentucky region. And there is a threat for an isolated tornado on Wednesday, so we don't want to discount that for our folks down here in southeastern Ohio, western West Virginia, or eastern Kentucky. A tornado will still be possible. This will be an earlier day event on Wednesday. Looking at the precipitation amounts going through late week, this is through Thursday night, this will be putting down some healthy rains from the Ohio Valley here through the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. Definitely seeing a few areas of a couple inches of rain. Pretty dry across the middle of the country as we reload the atmosphere, and here comes our new storm producing some very heavy rain across the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland, Eugene, and over here in towards the Medford region, seeing some very heavy rain going through the late week time frame. And here's the snowfall footprint through late week as well, and we're really just not seeing a lot of that snow. Any snow we see on the back side of our system here with any leftover moisture could be producing some lighter snow, a dusting, half an inch on those grassy surfaces, but coming off of record-breaking warmth, it is not likely we'll see this accumulating on any pavement surfaces through this week. Now, as we go into late week, this is the start of March. On Friday, March 1st, we reload the atmosphere. Here comes another ridge of high pressure in the wake of our first storm system this week. Here comes another one for the weekend across the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast. And ahead of that, we're going to see some very warm temperatures, more record-breaking warmth here on Friday. Look at the 70s, 80s, surging all the way up through the Plains states on Friday. Saturday, going into the weekend, a lovely weekend for everyone up here into the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the middle of the country, 78 up here into Des Moines, 80 perhaps into Omaha, and 80, near 80 there into Kansas City, into the 80s into central Texas again, and then on Sunday, more record-breaking warmth out east. So we just continuing to see record-breaking warmth as we go even into early March timeframe. But early next week, whatever goes up must come down at some point, and there are some signs of a significant storm starting to eject somewhere across the middle of the country. Now, there is a lot of uncertainty with this. This is the ECMWF model, otherwise known as the European forecast model. It has that trough ejecting across the center of the country earlier in the week, and then comparing that with the GFS, a lot more potent, more of a bowling ball trough, and it doesn't quite eject it early in the week until the midweek time frame. So there's uncertainty with the position of the trough, the strength of the trough, and when it exactly ejects across the country will play a vital role in who sees more inclement weather, and this could include some winter weather in the form of heavy snow or some inclement weather in the form of significant severe weather, depending on the trough's position, strength, and also when it ejects through that next week time frame. So let's look here at the European forecast model between Sunday the 3rd and Tuesday the 5th time frame here, and you can see we have a stronger low up here into the northern plains. So we have the snow on the backside with the cold air advection. Warm sector, not really too excited on this model for any big robust thunderstorms on Sunday or really on Monday. A flatter trough overall here on the European model, really not getting going with severe weather potentially or heavy rain until Tuesday down here, and this is mainly for the lower and middle Mississippi Valley on this model. Now looking at the GFS model between the same time frame, Sunday the 3rd and Tuesday the 5th here, there's the snow again. Very much agreement with this across southern Canada and out west as the European model, the GFS model, in the same boat for Sunday. Then it has a little bit different of a picture on Monday versus the European model. Notice you have a stronger low across portions of the Midwest, more of the Mississippi Valley, from the upper Mississippi Valley to the mid-Mississippi Valley and lower Mississippi Valley, starting to see more heavy rain and perhaps severe weather potential next Monday. And then that is more of a progressive wave that pushes across portions of the eastern U.S. as we go into Tuesday timeframe. So overall, taking an ensemble approach here, this is what you do when you have uncertainty and when you're looking a little bit further out. So Sunday the 3rd through Tuesday the 5th, it does favor the Mississippi Valley and the eastern plains for any shower and thunderstorm activity. You see this blob up here into southern Canada. Most of this will likely be in the form of wintry precipitation, likely some wet snow across portions of western Ontario, southern and central Manitoba, and southeastern Saskatchewan during that time frame. But I am concerned about the Mississippi Valley and the eastern plains for the potential of severe weather between Sunday the 3rd and Tuesday the 5th. Right now, a low potential because we have a lot of uncertainty with this. But as we get closer and we have more certainty and more clarity with the models, we will definitely throw out potentially an elevated area somewhere in this region. So we'll continue to watch this as we do get closer. Looking at snowfall perspectives from the ensemble models. A decent winter storm across southern Canada here from western Ontario through central and southern Manitoba into southeastern Saskatchewan, and some of that snow could be falling heavily back through the Rockies into the Dakotas here and then back across the west. The Cascades out here, Washington State and Oregon, and the Sierras out in California seeing some decent snows during this time frame. So a big forecast, lots of moving parts here. Thank you guys so much for watching here on this Tuesday morning, and I will continue to keep each and every one of you updated right here on this channel, so that's another reason to subscribe to the channel down below. And also, in case I do go live for any of these severe weather events, if I do need to do so, you guys get my channel by subscribing. Also, make sure to press the like button down below. It helps to get all of this information passed along to more and more people, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe rest of their Tuesday out there.